Hi everybody, I want to give you a tour of using Google Sites to build your portfolio for a class. A lot of professors will have the option to create a Google Sites portfolio or a website portfolio, and it's a great and easy way to display your work that you can share either with a small group that you're working with your professor, or even people outside of the campus sphere. So you can see that I'm starting here in my Google Drive. I went to my campus portal and went right to that Google Drive icon. And there's a couple of different ways you can go to Sites. One way you can go to Sites is by going to this app waffle right here and clicking on it. And you can scroll down until you see the Sites icon. But an even easier way to get to it is within your Drive. If you click New and More, you can see there's all kinds of things that you have the possibility to use now, including Google Sites. And when you click on that button, since it's creating a new site, it'll create a blank site. So you can see here we're pretty blank. So the site name here is going to be the name of your site when you go to look for it in your Google Drive. So for the sake of this particular video, we're going to call this our sample site. And you can see now that's updated right here. You can add a logo if you have a logo, if you're really fancy like that. And that's a little bit different than our page title, which can be really anything. It can be an intro to your site, an intro to your project, or maybe your professor has a specific name that they want you to use. I am going to call this just my home page. There. So there are a couple things that you're going to want to get to know and that you're going to use quite often with the Google Sites. You can see here we have a panel of options, and we're on right now Insert because it wants us to start editing this page right here. But first I want to take a look at how to actually add different pages. I'm going to move myself right over here. So here you can see that we have our home page. Regardless of what this is called right here, it'll be called Home in the Pages panel, because that's where people entered. When they click Home, they go back to the starting page. So here we can see that we can very easily add a new page. I'm just going to call this page 1. And it's thinking, and now we can see that we have a home page and we also have a page 1. And we can add as many pages as we need to for the different pieces of our project, whether we're building them ourselves or our professor is telling us which pages to actually add. The other cool thing is that you can also add subpages. So if you have a certain topic that you want to create more than one artifact under, you can do that really easily by creating a page. I'm going to call this page 1.2. We'll put a space in there. And you see that created that within my Pages panel, but I can actually go ahead and pull that up and put it right in my page 1. And now you can see I have that fancy little menu that I can actually open up. So again, I'm not sure if you need to go that direction, but it's something handy to know just in case that's something that you're interested in. Or maybe your professor is requiring you to have, you know, multiple artifacts underneath a certain kind of subject or header. The next thing that a lot of people are interested in is looking at themes. So there's a couple of pretty basic themes that you have going on with Google. It's not really about creating a whole lot of, you know, creative license. It's really about creating a clear path for your viewer to see. So you can play around with any of these and see which kind of style you like the best. I'm going to keep, actually, I want to go to this one. You can see here that it'll create the banner across all of your pages. I do always say make sure that it's going to be really readable, regardless of what you choose to have on the backdrop and as your font. Just always make sure that it's going to be really visible and readable to people. It's not hard to read. You can change the image by uploading your own image, or you can select an image from either a URL or your Google Drive or their gallery of just general kind of stuff. So if I were going to choose this night sky, that's kind of nice. I like that it's dark, so it shows my text really well. You can see here, now we have, the different color font up here and this little yellow thing. There is also this ability, if you upload your own photograph, there's this little star button, and when you click that, it actually adjusts it for readability, so it gives it a little bit of a darker filter. You can change the header type, and you can play around with that, but really we want to get into the meat and potatoes of building. So as we go down through our page, you can see that we can add things pretty easily. That's one of the awesome attributes of using the Google sites. You can very easily add text boxes, and you can see here that you can make the text box as big or as small as you need to by pulling this in. You can arrange your text with either title text. Oops. Hopefully your spelling's better than mine. You can change to a heading or subheading. You can even create smaller text if you want to. You can add images. You can either upload them or select them. You can embed things like YouTube videos simply by clicking embed and adding that URL. And one of the great things about Google Sites is that it connects really fluidly with Google Drive. So that means that you can take any of your folders that you have from your Google Drive and you can actually embed content really easily that you've done into your site for easy access. So let me look for one that might have some good stuff in it. I'll just look at this accessibility. So here I have a file within here. If I click that file, I can insert an entire file that'll show all my files within that. Or I can choose to select an individual file like this PDF. And that will embed the whole document itself, which then you can choose to make larger or smaller. And you can play around with that and see what you like the looks of. Remember, when you share anything from Google Drive, though, the sharing permissions on that document that you want to share have to be set so that people can view it when they click on it, because otherwise they won't be able to see it if it's set to private, like everything within the Google Drive. Google Sites also gives you some of these pre-made layouts that are really good for arranging things in a manner that's really easy to see. So I just click this layout right here. You can see I can easily add this image, and then I have some text that I can apply to the side with an automatic heading here. So that's pretty handy. And there's also a variety of different elements that you can add too. Adding collapsible text allows you to create a accordion style experience so that your readers can see the heading and then they can choose to open the text or not. I'll put some lorem ipsum in there. You can choose to do a table of contents if you want to do a site table of contents. An image carousel will allow you to have multiple images that your users can scroll through. You can create a button to a link to an outside resource if you need to. You can create a divider if it makes sense visually for you to have different sections on your page. Here's your very easy YouTube video embedder to create that YouTube player that's playable right within your site. You can link to a calendar if that's something that you need to do. If you're working on a group project and you need to work on times that you're going to be working together, that would be handy. And you can also embed any of these different types of the Google Docs from within the G Suite. So that's the main functionality behind what kinds of things that you can add. One thing that I wanted to share with you too, because this is going to be something that you're going to have to do, is you're going to want to be aware of how and where to publish in some of your publishing settings and how to share your site once you've created it. So we have this big button right here that says Publish. When you click this, it gives you your web address. Right here is what it's going to say at the end of your URL. So if you want to change that, you can change that here to whatever you want. And you can also see that people that can view your site once it is published automatically sets to anyone at the University of Maine system. So that's going to be great if this is for a professor or for a workshop group where you want to keep it within the University of Maine system, but you can change that if you need to anybody can find and view the published version, or just even specific people, like maybe you only want your club or your workshop group or maybe even just your faculty member to see this. In that case, you would click specific people and you'd have to add their address. So I'm not going to publish this right now. I'll just wait a sec. Within this 3 dots right here, you can see Site Analytics. That really only works if you have Google Analytics already, which you don't need to get. You can duplicate the site if you want to make the copy of the site to make some changes that don't reflect on your published site yet. You can add a favicon, which will change what your published site, what this little doodad looks like right here. You can control your site information settings. So right now it automatically shows at the bottom of your published site when the last time the site was updated. So you can toggle that off if you don't like that. And also it automatically shows how to contact the author. So you can turn those on or off, whatever makes sense with your project. We also have the ability to share and add collaborators. So if you have a group project and the site is going to be your group project, you'll probably want to make sure that everybody that needs to add things to the site have editing access. So let me go ahead and publish this right now. So that way we can look to see what our viewer is going to see, because it looks a little bit different. Of course, the viewer is not going to see all of our editorial stuff. So we can preview the site, or we can click this little down arrow right here, and we can view the actual published site. So here we are right now in our published site. We can see that it looks a little bit different because we don't have the editorial stuff. We can see here is my title text right here. Remember that accordion drop down? You just click that to open up any of the content below. We can click through our pages, and we also have the ability to have a site search, so that way any of our viewers can look for a keyword and search through our site, and Google automatically puts that in there, which is kind of handy actually. So this may seem like a lot, but once you get going, I think that you'll have a lot of fun with this process. Once again, feel free, if you get stuck on or want to explore any of these elements a little bit further, YouTube is full of a lot of resources to help you create a video or a website rather that you feel really, really proud of and that you can share to your heart's delight. Happy building!